Some people think that parenting is about coming together and producing children and naming them and being able to remember those names. Hmm. I'm here to tell you today that parenting is more than that. When you think parenting is for the now, I will tell you, parenting is a long-term investment. People think that you need to be a believer or a Christian to be able to make a good parent. What happens to knowing the difference between good and bad and teaching your children that there is consequences to every bad thing you do and there is reward or advantage to every good thing that you do? We keep thinking that being a good parent is only when you feed your children well and then you put them in good schools and you make sure they don't lack anything. And then the important things that comes with parenting, we lag. We lag behind. We don't even bring those things into existence. Then what makes us a good parent? Or what makes us good parents? It took me being a parent to understand that parenting is a full-time job. And when you are working in a company, you can't afford to make mistakes. You can't afford to include any error in any of the documents you are asked to edit or submit. It applies to parenting too. Whenever you miss anything that comes with parenting, anything that you are supposed to teach your children, you have to atone for those sins because it comes back haunting you. So, do you have to wait for those years of atonement to come? Or will you prefer to train your children and instill that godly pattern in them so that they're able to differentiate between good and bad? Which do you prefer? Some parents think that their children don't understand or listen to them when they give them those advice or try to lead them in the path that is right. Those children, they hear what you say every time you say them. Now, I will tell you this, as someone that has been a teenager once and has grown to be an adult. See, you will know how far you have gone with your training and your teaching when they're in the midst of their friends. Yes, that's when you will know how well you have taught them when they're in the midst of their friends. Why am I saying all these things? Aside home training and growing in the right path, parents, teach your children that they are important to each other. Let them know that they need each other to survive. Let them know that they need each other in their day-to-day life. Teach them to love each other. Very important. I go online every day by day on social media. I read stories and I'm shocked. I'm like, how did they get to this level? Because I don't know why you will be jealous of your sibling. I don't know why you will grow with so much hatred for your sibling. I don't know, but if parents did a good job hammering that particular part in those children's ear, they will understand that love is the best thing you can give your sibling. Most times I watch movies and I read stories online and I keep asking myself, are they real? Like, is it possible that siblings can treat each other like this? Like, I'm like, is this real? Yeah. But then it took my sister-in-law's friend's experience. It It took that lady's experience for me to believe that siblings that grow up without love can be worse than enemies. God. Ha. My sister-in-law's friend died last week one day, so I'm saying this with a lot of pain in my heart. I feel, one, her dad failed her. Two, her siblings did the worst of it. They failed that lady. She died last week Monday from cancer. And before even the cancer thing, I think the cancer thing came later. Before the cancer thing, when she was telling my sister-in-law her stories about what family have done to her, when you've not had that kind of experience, it's surprising to you. My sister-in-law will always say that she don't understand how far siblings can go, but she didn't expect that they can go that far to hurt their fellow, be their sister, be their brother. Like, do you get? Now, my father-in-law died quite early, so my husband didn't really stay much with the dad. Most of them were scattered to uncles, and do you get? But then, now that they are grown, that you expect that they're not even supposed to be, do you get, living in peace and harmony. They are grown, and the kind of bond they have, I kind of really envy that kind of bond. And I love, see, they don't even born you well to be married into that family and try to cause problem between any of the siblings. I don't think it's even going to work for you. So I think it's not about even staying with your parents for the longest of time for you to turn out to be good. Aside parents doing their own jobs as parents, I think we as adults, we have roles to play in our lives too. We know how we want our life to be. We know how we want things around us to be. Then we work towards that and act according to those things that we want. So parents are going to do their own part as parents. We still have our own parts to play too. So I get. But then parents need to lay the foundation. That's it. Now, she always complained to my sister-in-law about everything that was going on with the family. She has, I think, she has up to 5 siblings, right? And she's the last born. Abby? Yes. Yes. And then, all through her life, that lady I've seen way, she sponsored herself through school. She did accounting in school. She saw herself through school, and then she was already doing ICAM before the cancer thing came. But before then, her elder sister was in Lagos before till they relocated down to Asaba, where they built their own house there. I think their first daughter, the eldest sister, yes. So a time came, she was like, okay, since my sister is in Asaba and they have their own house, and things are not moving well with me in Lagos, maybe I could just go to Asaba and stay with them and maybe get a job there and start doing. And then she sold most of the things she had in Lagos and then she moved to Asaba. When you're going to your sister's house, you did not expect the worst to happen. She got to her sister's house and that thing called maltreatment started. Now, the sister don't even allow her, even if she says she wants to cook in her sister's kitchen, her sister will not allow her to touch even something as small as onion. She will have to go and get her own onion, get her own pepper, get her own salt, seasoning cube, everything she needs to use for that food. She needs to get. Her son doesn't like her touching anything in the house. Aisha maltreated her to the extent that they asked her to leave the house. She left the house without shishi. You know how Nigeria is now. You plan something, doesn't work like that. Maybe she has planned that she's going to go to but she will get job immediately. It didn't work like that. They sent her out of the house. She went to the park. They didn't even care. She went to the park. She slept in the park. She had to start borrowing money from people to be able to come down back to Lagos. Because she came back to Lagos. You know, for like years that she left her sister's house, she never called her to ask her, how did you get to Lagos? What has been wrong with you? Her sister never asked. All her siblings, no one cares about it. They don't even call themselves. They don't care about themselves. Now I begin to ask myself questions. I'm like, are you sure that this is a normal thing? Because the father, after the mom died, the father married another wife. And the wife swore that none of the children they are going to be better than her own children. So I was asking myself, are you sure these things happening are like kind of normal? Or there's more to it? But then I feel the hatred they have for each other is worse. Now, things were going on and then she was hustling and she didn't care about any of them. Since they didn't care about her too, she didn't call, she doesn't ask them for anything. She doesn't even, she's just on her own. Then she was friends with my sister-in-law and they were still friends till she died. Now, March this year, she found out she had cancer. She had a little kind of growth in her armpit. She went to the hospital, they said it was normal. They gave her medicine. She when it now got worse, they now diagnosed her of cancer. See, everything surrounding that lady's death was just so annoying. The thing just came full force like this. It was getting worse day by day. And then the English medicine was no longer working. They went herbal, the same. Now, one of the deacons in her church was like, you need to inform your family. She said she doesn't want to. She said you need to inform your family. But anything that is happening, they are aware of it. Now she informed her siblings. For months that she informed them, none of them even called her. Imagine I called you to tell you that something is wrong with me. None of them called her to even ask her, how is she? What's happening? They didn't. They didn't call her. Till when it got worse, she couldn't even stand on the bed. She needed support for everything she needs to do. Now, the other sister came down from us. I did not look as if my sister has been sick, they called and I did not come. You know, when you're doing something to fulfill your righteousness, that was exactly what the elder sister did. She came down to Lagos. She refused to even stay with her. She would just come, see her, and give her food, and then go back to the hotel. Then after some days, she now traveled down to Asaba. After like a week, the husband now came. When he came with a car. They were packing. The girl just thought, at first people around were like, maybe he just came to pack few of the girls' thing to know if there's something they can do in Asaba. But no, they packed the girl's bed. They packed all her boxes. They were packing all her properties. Now the younger boy that started coming later. Now I was like, what's the meaning of that? Are you packing her things that she's not going to come back alive or what? Now, before the sister traveled back, the sister made a statement. The sister was like, even if she will not survive it. The girl now rejected and was like, God forbid, I'm going to survive it and come out from this stuff. But if you look at her sister's face, you know that you are talking to yourself. So the husband was not, because the husband was working on that the wife's instruction, right? Now, before then, they went to one hospital. They said the woman is specialized in treating people that have cancer. Now, after everything, they sent 300,000 for the lady. The woman was charging 3 million. Then they sent 300,000 for the lady. And then the sister now went around and was not telling people that what she said for her sister was 3 million. Do you get? Now, they were not packing her properties. They were like, the husband was like, that even if she will not wear the clothes again, his children will wear the clothes. My sister-in-law was around that day, so she was. That statement was bad. They packed all the girls' clothes. They carried her bed. And the brother refused that they will carry some of her properties. The brother said they will not carry those properties. That the sister will come back alive. He even had to fight with the sister's husband before the man was able to leave most of those things. I knew what they were doing. What they were doing is, so if the girl dies, lady dies eventually, they will not go empty-handed. So they left the fridge and some of the things that the guy refused them from carrying. And now they traveled down to Asaba. When they got to Asaba, they seized that lady's phone. Till the day the lady died, nobody had that lady's voice again. Whenever they called to hear her voice, they say they are not close to her. She's sleeping. She's this. They refused to give her girl. At least for her to listen to music, listen to preachings, they refused to give her her phone again. Nobody heard from that lady again. Now what the sister and the husband did was they now carried her down to her village. This is the same village she saw that even if she dies, even if she's wedding, that she will not step her leg to that village. They now carried her to the village and abandoned her in the village. Who are you guys leaving her in the village for? Who will take care of her in the village? They brought her down to the village on Sunday. She died on Monday. And now, they now called the deacon in the church to tell him that the lady is dead. And God, I feel so sad because even if that we don't like each other as siblings, I can't see you going through something and I don't have human sympathy. I don't feel hurt. I don't have compassion. But it wasn't applicable for things that concern that lady and her family. Just like that, she died. Now the husband of the sister now called the deacon. That please, he wants to ask her, does she know the PIN to the lady's account? Does he know? First, he asked her that before the lady died, that there's one name the lady used to call. He was not calling my sister-in-law's name. So the deacon was like, so this lady was calling this girl's name before she died, and you guys didn't even bother to give her the phone to speak with this lady. You guys didn't do it. Because you guys felt that maybe when people give her the phone, she will tell someone what you guys are making her pass through in Asaba. And I said, the man was like, I don't have this lady's number. He said, please, he wants to ask the lady. Since the lady was calling the lady other my son-in-law's name, that means they are close. That he wants to ask her too if he knows the girl's ATM pin of her Fidelity Bank. See, what God will judge, and to think that this man is a pastor, what God will judge. My sister-in-law dreamt that Monday that lady died. He saw the lady in the dream. Lady came to her and lady was now looking very fine. Although that she was still very slim, she slimmed down. Her laps is like this, my hand. She slimmed down. But then my sister-in-law said she saw her in the dream and she was looking so beautiful. And the wound in one of the breasts was already drying up, but she was still very, very slim. My sister-in-law was like, she told her that she now called my sister-in-law's name. I was like, that she's free now. She's free from pains now. And my sister-in-law was like, hallelujah, glory to God. She was so happy. She was like, okay, that though you are still slim, that you still You will still have to recover now, you get. Now, you know how dream is now. After some time, that told my sister-in-law, it's like this Lagos that she's in is a problem, oh, you get. Now, my sister-in-law woke up from that dream and I came to tell me that she dreamt about this lady, and see what happened in the dream, that she's so happy, that she has faith that the girl lady is going to recover. She didn't even know that that lady even came to show herself to my sister-in-law, that she has gone to her place of rest, up until when they called my sister-in-law to tell her that the lady was dead. I was thinking in my head, so these siblings now will go to this lady's burial and they will cry. They will cry that they feel hot that she's dead. Like they will cry that that feeling hot that they won't see time. After everything they made that lady go through. See, parents, teach your children love. Teach them togetherness. You can't need an outsider more than your siblings. I know they will keep saying that blood is no longer thicker than water. Blood is no longer thicker than water. How they say? How they say? Be like, blood is no longer thicker than water. Oh, kine. Outsiders will even treat you better than your own siblings. I get that point. But if you guys love each other, you will know for sure that blood is thicker than water, because you'll be seeing the evidence and it will be showing. But then, who are we going to blame? Are we going to blame their parents? That's it. Parents, teach your children love. Instill love in your children. Ah, God. See, I've this past few days, this week, I've like, I don't know. For parents, we have a lot of work to do. Now, one of the mistakes that parents make is this. When they are supposed to be training their children and leading them in the right path, they feel that they are still children and they are still tender for them to start teaching them this particular thing. Now, when it gets to that time where you're supposed to start guiding your children, you want to start training them then. There is time for everything. Once you have missed that step, you have missed it. There's time for everything. But then, what are you going to do? You have your own life to live. So you have to live it. Because when you open your mouth to advise people concerning what they're supposed to do right, then you understand what direct insult is. But then every single day we just need to pray that God will keep helping us to be good parents. See, parenting is not easy. And you see, when it comes to parenting, it's not something that you have to borrow past Christians for. Because every child is different. So you need to figure out your own children and figure out ways to train them. So every single day we pray like, God, give me the grace, give me the patience, give me the heart of love to be able to lead my children in the right path. See, you have to pray the prayer, because if you think that it's not necessary now, you will repeat. See, as I'm saying this, I'm talking to myself too. If you think it's unnecessary, you go reap harm, you will repeat in years to come. In the adulthood, you will repeat because you will not escape. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. That's all I have to say. And may God help us as parents. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you've not. And also turn on your notification bell to get notified whenever I post a new video online. Thank you so much, guys. And I love you guys so much. And have a nice day. Ciao.